Guys, I'm just making this quick video to let you know that I'm addicted to my cell phone.
Last month, I went home for winter break. It was the first time I had been home in a while, so it was just a really good opportunity to catch up with friends and spend time with family. Yet, when I got home, I actually didn't spend a lot of time doing that. Instead, I scrolled on Instagram Reels for hours at a time. But don't worry, I sometimes took a break from Instagram and then instinctively started watching YouTube Shorts only minutes later. I could tell you more about this experience that probably took up about a third of my break, but to be honest, I don't really remember it. You would think that with all the time I was spending on social media that I would have got something valuable from it, like some sort of reward, but there was none of that. All that I got was numbness. And this got me thinking, I don't think that this is an original experience for me at all. I mean, any time that I have to stand in a line for anything in public or eat food at the dining hall, everyone is constantly immersed in their cell phones. Okay, maybe some people are sending important text messages, but I'm pretty sure the majority of people, like myself, are just scrolling mindlessly through social media, not allowing themselves to have a moment of boredom. And I fear that my generation especially struggles to even go a minute without something stimulating them, which is a problem. Hello class, my name is Professor Jones TV, and today I will be talking about Gen Z's addiction to social media. So first, we're going to talk about why Gen Z is addicted to their cell phones, and then we're going to talk about what the negative side effects are from this. And then lastly, we'll talk about how we might fix this issue. So first, why is Gen Z so addicted to their cell phones? Although the internet was around well before Gen Z was born, smartphones and tablets had become a staple of society by the time we were only kids. I remember Christmas in third grade getting a tablet that my sisters and I shared, and I was so excited. I mean, it was like the ultimate toy, having seemingly unlimited apps to explore. It makes sense why any kid would want to have a device like this. By the time I got to middle school, I had discovered the internet, specifically YouTube, and it was just so cool to have access to all these videos and music just at my fingertips. For me, it was like opening Pandora's box. Except I didn't listen to Pandora, I actually listened to Amazon Music.
But seriously, in middle school, basically everyone had a cell phone, and if you didn't, haha. For many of us, the internet had turned from something that we casually perused to something that we couldn't even go an hour without. Mom and Dad, if you're watching this, cover your ears, but in 7th grade, I got in trouble 3 times in 1 week for using my phone in class. Okay, you can uncover them now.
As we entered high school, our days began with checking Instagram and ended with watching YouTube until we couldn't keep our eyes open anymore. And I think that this experience was definitely worsened by the pandemic because we were forced to stay inside all day. And you know what could be fun? Watching videos alone in bed. Around this time, apps like TikTok were totally blowing up, which made it super easy to just be fed an endless stream of videos that you could just scroll on forever and ever. And this led to many of my close friends being addicted to the app, even to this present day. Now, full disclosure, I was one of those annoying people that was like, I'm not gonna download TikTok. But then every other app started basically having their own version of TikTok, and I became a part of the short form video hive mind as well. And this all leads to the present day, where I spend so much of my time over winter break watching short form video for seemingly no reason at all. Well, you may be thinking, oh, boo-hoo, social media wastes a lot of time. But that's not at all. There's also a lot of other negative side effects. But what are they? Something I hear a lot in discussions about social media addiction is about how TikTok kills your attention span. And that is true. And honestly, deeper than that. The way that the For You page on basically any app is wired now is that it makes it incredibly easy for you to skip anytime you find yourself bored, basically promoting content that is guaranteed to keep users engaged. Nowadays, the people that make videos online are very aware of this, always making content that is geared to keep people engaged for the maximum amount of time, using flashy editing and dangling things in front of the camera just to keep people from ever thinking to click off. For example, the world's largest YouTuber, Mr. Beast, uses all of these and is basically just a master of keeping retention. And it works. He gets hundreds of millions of views on videos that are incredibly accessible and incredibly eye-catching, but they basically lack any greater value. There's a reason why brain rot is Oxford's 2024 Word of the Year. Corporations and digital creators have just decided to play on our society's need for easy, dumb entertainment. And while some of us are aware of this, we don't seem to mind.
Okay, but what if you didn't care about art or greater values and just wanted to be entertained? Well, that's fine, except our generation's constant need to be stimulated by social media manifests very negatively in real-life social situations. Many people I know, myself included, have trouble dealing with silence in conversations. Pretty awkward, right? Personally, I believe that this could be caused, at least in part, by social media taking away our needs to experience silence or the slower moments in life.
As I mentioned before in this video, it is actually so dystopian to eat a meal in a modern college dining hall because everyone is constantly scrolling through their phones because, God forbid, you actually savor your meal and enjoy time with friends. For this very reason, I've made a personal effort to stay off of my phone as much as possible while I'm in the dining hall, but still, I feel such a societal pressure to have it out at least. I mean, I can't just be the freak that is looking around the room or staring at my food as I eat it. I have to have my phone out to show that I have way more important, cool things to do. Maybe this is just a me thing, actually. I also think that our use of cell phones kind of takes away from the way that we interact as humans. Like, I can't count how many times I've been trying to have a conversation with someone and they've just been scrolling on their phone and nodding along. And even if they aren't intending it this way, it still can come off pretty hurtful because it shows that they value whatever's on their phone more than the actual human in front of them.
There's also so many other issues that the overuse of cell phones has caused. For example, the feelings of anxiety and isolation caused by having constant access to the entire world. The inability to sleep without first spending hours watching YouTube. The poor posture I've developed by staring at a screen all the time. Yeah, this is a new thing I'm insecure about.
So, as I've demonstrated, there are just generally a lot of negative side effects to social media addiction. But how do we overcome it? Now, as you may be able to tell from this presentation so far, I really am in no place to be giving advice on how to overcome this, as this is something I still struggle with, but I still have a few pointers that may be helpful to fixing social media addiction. At the beginning of last semester, I started plugging in my phone away from my bed, far away from reach. This made it so that when I decided to go to bed, I actually had to commit to it instead of just scrolling on my phone for hours. This was pretty hard at first because going to sleep without my cell phone right there forced me to actually think about things that I was avoiding thinking about. But thankfully, I overcame this phase after a couple of weeks, and now I can totally sleep without my cell phone, and I'm much healthier for it, I think.
In the mornings, I also started to do something that I like to call read before scroll. Basically, before I reply to any messages or open up social media, I try to read something and ponder. And honestly, I think it's just a much better and healthier start to the day. I guess I could also recommend going cold turkey, but honestly, I don't even know if I'm brave enough to do this. Social media is just so ingrained in how we interact with people nowadays, and it's just such a part of my everyday life that it would just be incredibly hard to part with it. But if you're strong enough to just straight up delete social media, I think that could be a positive thing. But don't click off this video just yet, because I need the retention.
Wait, did he just say retention? That's so hypocritical.
I couldn't go any longer into my video complaining about social media without addressing the fact that I, in some way or another, have been contributing to this problem. In fact, I'm sure that many of you right now are watching this video because you're bored or trying to kill time, or maybe you're procrastinating doing something important. So I'm just giving you a distraction, an excuse to get to that thing later. And while it's never been my intention, I have been doing it. A couple years ago, I was intentionally over-editing videos, adding so many zooms and sound effects to every second just to keep people engaged. And some of my most popular videos on my channel are YouTube shorts that I've made using the same techniques, keeping people stimulated. And it worked. Some of you watching right now may have come from those videos. I often ask myself, if I made a successful YouTube video without bringing anything valuable to the table, then what is even the point? So if that was the case, I'm sorry, and I hope that this video brings you something more than mindless entertainment.
And that's pretty much my presentation. The point of this wasn't to tell you that you just need to straight up quit social media, because that's frankly unrealistic. But I think it is really important to be conscious about how much you use technology and how you let it influence you and your habits. And I think that's just the main takeaway from this video. But other than that, class is dismissed.